have had some rage moments from sweeping stuff under the rug too long. And I will say some stuff that I would never say. You know what I mean?
You hold it in so too long.
Or I realize I'm not allowed to drink whiskey.
So if you're in like a relationship with somebody and they can't say they're sorry and they have no empathy and they're constantly just going to point the finger back at you, like it's not a good spot to be in.
I feel, like, that's why on movies you see people go, well, they're like have to slowly say it because it's like so hard at first.
Welcome to the Got Her Back podcast.
Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Shik.
Happy Monday. Happy Got Her Back Monday.
Yay.
My favorite day of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is.
What's been going on with you? Working.
Yep.
Yeah. Summer's coming to an end.
That's right.
I know. I don't know if I'm sad or if I'm like excited about like broken bow weather.
Oh, here we go.
That's what I think about when it gets chillier. I'm like, ooh, I want to go to Broken Bow.
I know.
And light a fire.
I love Broken Bow.
Yeah,
you know I do.
I know. It's your baby.
Yay.
Do you still got your cabins going on?
Yeah, I'm building another one right now.
You are?
Yeah, to flip it. To get off
cool.
the lot. Mm-hmm.
Oh, super cool. Oh, yeah, you had
and
that.
I still have the Windsor.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
When's the last time you've been?
God, it's been a while.
Do you like to go in the summer?
No, because it rents too much, and I like that rent better than I like to go.
Oh, yeah. That's why.
I usually like to go like
I didn't know it was super
months.
popular in the summer.
Girl, we make enough rent in like June and July and part of August to pay for the whole year.
Wow, that's interesting.
For sure.
That's super cool.
For sure.
I'm excited. A little excited about fall.
Yeah.
I'm looking at puppies right now.
You are?
Yes, I'm thinking I might be ready to replace my dog.
Oh, you didn't tell me that.
So we're looking at new German Shepherds. We also want like a big dog, like a, everybody know we have a big dog at our house. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like we have these little like ridiculous Frenchies that don't do anything.
Yeah.
One's deaf. The other one, she's just like.
And then you got your barn cat.
Yeah. And my cat is like my fave. But yeah, we're looking at German Shepherds.
And
I want a girl again. I definitely want a girl. But I'm looking at more like the darker ones this time, like the black with a little bit of the red, like the darker face ones.
So if our listeners don't know, when she moved in with Gabe, it was 4th of July or New Year's?
It was New Year's.
New Year's, and someone did fireworks and it scared her and she ran off and we weren't able to find her ever.
Yeah, she was already kind of anxious and she was in for the night. She was in for the night. We had people over for New Year's Eve playing pool. We had all the screens down on the patio. It was all warm, fire going out there. So we were kind of coming in and out. And one of our friends was like, wanted to let her out one more time. And we had the screen gapped on like a little bit so she could go, to the bathroom, come back in. And when she did, someone shot fireworks off for New Year's Eve. Like we weren't expecting that. Like she's never been outside during fireworks or anything like that. So we could see on the cameras that she was like along the fence line and she bolted like out the gate. But then we never. I'm like certain someone took her and kept her.
For sure.
Yeah, but it was really cool because like I still get messages, people like still like thinking they've seen her.
Dog. I know.
Like, I mean, I got hundreds. We did a reward.
Yeah,
if people were messaging me, like people were so cool. Like people still, there's certain girls that I just know, like they send me anything that looks like a sable shepherd. They send me, and I'll go look, and it'll like this last one looked. Only like a month ago, looked exactly like her. And this New Year's Eve, it'll be 2 years. But people said it could be a year or more, and sometimes they come home. But, I mean, she's microchipped and everything. Yeah. We kept thinking maybe somebody would call. But I think someone knew. She was very expensive. She was trained. She was just a really good dog. And I think they just kept her. Honestly, I know. So now I'm like looking, and Gabe was like super attached to her already. Like she loved Gabe. Like she started like sleeping on his side of the bed, and like following him around when I'd go to work. So he liked the idea of a big dog like in the house. Just as protection. When I go walking or running or whatever. That's what I miss. I don't walk or run that much anymore because I liked it with her.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like anybody would come near me. People would see her and go, they'd like go from my sidewalk to cross the street to like go
Isn't that
around
terrible
me.
that we have to like live our lives like that now?
But I
It's
did
just
feel
like,
really good. Like I would go on night runs
yeah, of
because
course.
I was like, sure. Like, I mean, people would not come near me. And like if she got a bad vibe, you would know it. Like she would show her teeth. But she was not mean at all. But people were really scared of her. And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a dark, if anybody knows of a good German Shepherd girl.
Breeder.
And I want a puppy. I want to like raise her with my kids. So
that's sweet.
So maybe by the holidays I'll have a dog.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not getting another dog.
No. You're not?
No.
Remember when you would just like buy dogs?
Yeah, I do. I've done that my whole life. I'm done to buying dogs.
Are you? I don't believe you.
I promise.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Now you're a cat mom.
Yeah.
I love your cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince Gabe now. Like I'm going to get my German Shepherd and then I'm going to get a new cat. But he doesn't know it yet. But now he does. I want an indoor cat. But he says, because we have an outdoor cat and that's all that like our outdoor cat loves being outside. He does not even like coming inside, you know? But he's like don't freak out. He's very like taken care of out there. He's very domesticated. But he said if you have one in the house and one outside, they will like fight and get territorial like through the windows and stuff. Like they don't do
funny.
well. You know what I mean? And I was like, that kind of, if y'all know, tell me. I don't know. I don't know if he's making that up because he don't want a cat in the house. I'm going to have to ask ChatGPT that.
That's our segue. So at least you were able to talk about that. What happens when you can't talk about something and you dust it under the rug?
Sweep it under the old rug? Girl, I grew up that way. I grew up in a house that everything was swept under the rug. So
I don't remember that. But my sisters made comments that like because I would be like, hey, I always had my dad like on a pedestal. Like I just didn't think that we didn't live in a house where I don't ever remember them fighting. She was like, oh, they fought. They would just separate and go like he'd be in the living room and mom would be in the bedroom. And I remember going in the bedroom and like watching TV with her. But I thought in my head because I was younger, like she just wants to watch a certain show. So I'd go watch shows with her. But she's like, like dad.
That is so interesting that you said that because that's how my past marriage was, like sweep it under the rug, act like it doesn't exist for a lot of things. And we were very much in separate rooms for years, and so I would pull Maddie into my room, because I wanted to hang out. I didn't want to be in bed by myself, and so I would have her come in a lot. She slept with me a lot. We watch shows, and I still try to do that with her now, even though it's for different reasons, like, because I know that she missed that when we moved in with Gabriel. She would be like, can I lay with you? Can I lay with, And so there's times like if he's gone or if he's, staying up later than me, like I'll be like, hey, you want to come lay with me till you fall asleep? So I still try to like do that with her. But in the past, it was more of like a crutch.
Right.
I would say.
I think
so that's interesting that you remember that part.
Yeah.
Maddie's going to remember that part.
It's funny how we've talked about it before, but like how you have just two different perspectives as kids, like it's like you're living different lives. And sometimes it's just the age gap. Sometimes it's just, like your perspective is different than theirs. And so
one's more mature.
Yeah, for sure. Me and my sister have a 4.5 year age gap. So it's not that much, but it's a big enough that like.
That's me and Carly were 5.
Yeah, like. She knew more, what was going on than I did for sure. But I think that I've had dusted. I'm not really. This is kind of hard for me.
Yeah,
because I'm so forward.
I don't peg you as a dusted.
No,
the red
I'm
girl.
not. I'm not. But here's what I would do. I would hold in and hold in and hold in my marriage until I couldn't take it anymore.
But I think in that instance, like you did that because you didn't want the conflict.
That's right.
And so. I heard you say many times, like, as long as I don't bring it up, we're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was kind of my take on things too. Like, well, I guess as long as I don't bring it up, it doesn't exist. And then we're fine and we can act like we're okay or whatever, or we can fake it or whatever because we're not really talking about it. And then everything was okay. But as soon as you want to work it out, y'all can never get to a common ground. So you're just... And then it doesn't get anywhere.
I don't do well with the quiet game because that's like such a form of manipulation and like learning and counseling that it's fine to take time some people need time. I tend to blow up and get super angry, but then I'm fine in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like I get it out of my system and then I'm fine. But then, some people need time, but it's okay. But it's not healthy to take more than 2 to 3 hours.
Mhm.
Like you shouldn't go to bed mad. You should try to not go to bed upset or angry. You should just, you should try, but you also don't want to keep coming back and trying to, resolve an issue if you're both not in a good headspace. You know what I mean? Like, don't do it when you're drinking.
Mhm.
Don't do it when you're both angry because you just talk in circles and you don't ever get
I think you
anywhere.
have to know your relationship and understand like when would be a good time.
Right. And I don't think I ever had that. And I will take the blame for that because I don't think that I feel like because I just would, since I would hold and hold and hold, usually what would set me off would probably be not even something that was a major issue. It would just be like the straw that broke the camel's back. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, we're about to have World War 1,062,000.
It's almost like you're like getting your gloves on and you're like, okay, I'm about to say something. I already know this is like about, you know what I mean? Which should not be that way.
For years, I also would anytime I try to have a conversation at all, I was met with a defensive, everything was defensive. Well, it's not me. It was pushback. The finger went back at me. It's not me. It's you. And so when you can't talk to, there's like 7 deadly sins, right? Of marriages or relationships. You got money, you got sex, you got feeling safe and lying and cheating and throw in some, whatever you got. And so if you can't, I just never could, because usually I was already spiraling out of control and I had been spiraling internally and not saying a thing for so long. By the time I did spiral, it was not pretty.
Yeah.
It was not pretty because I just held it in and held it in.
And that's the thing about sweeping under the rug is like it builds up so much resentment and it just so much pressure that it just like you say things that you normally wouldn't say, like everything just the more you hold it in. And like for me, I grew up that way. My mom is very much that way. So I probably might get that from her. I don't know, or I don't know if that's something, a personality trait, or if you learn it. I don't know, maybe both. But that was very much how I was. I just would avoid conflict at under any circumstance, like for long periods of time. But that's also probably because of an abusive household is what my counselor's like. Yours is very much avoiding because that's your like survival mechanism. Like if I can just keep everybody like this, I'm safe. You know what I mean? And so mine was more because I have complex PTSD, meaning you were traumatized over and over and over and over and over, not just like once. It was like repetitive for years that it's like, it's just how you are. It's like in your DNA at that point.
Peacemaker.
Yeah. So I think that's really hard, but I have learned, and I think I learned it more in business, oddly, like speaking up, because I was that way in my business as well. Like keep the peace, keep the peace, keep the peace. But I would just get ran over for so long. But the more that I would like listen to you and have those hard conversations and realize how much it would shift and how good it would shift, it was like I wanted to do it faster because I saw the shift and I saw how much, yes, it was uncomfortable for a minute, but how much better it felt immediately.
Can you imagine, just because we're sitting here, like this is just like a random thought about my mother, but like seriously, think about like being shot, right? Like think about being shot by your husband, right? Dave, you're divorced, right? Think about being shot, and then I'm just surprised she even got into another relationship.
I'm really surprised she got into
to me, the strength behind that, because I would
wonder
have
how long was her?
Same year.
Oh, wow.
I was 2 when that happened and 2 when she got married.
Wow, she didn't even like.
No, back then you dated for months and got married.
Yeah, of course.
And it lasted years. You know what I mean? But I just sit here and think, I think probably because I brought her up and like how her and dad used to, conflict resolve. But imagine
her trauma.
Yeah. And she
probably had triggers.
Talk about PTSD, but
do you feel like she was like a peacekeeper or no?
For sure. She was a peacemaker
because
of our
it was
family.
Probably like a survival mechanism because she was like, Because you don't know what all she endured from your biological dad.
But imagine like being in a relationship and just your head or your thoughts going to like, okay, well, if I make too big of a stink about it, is the worst of the worst going to happen again? I just like, I don't know that I like that to me is like misery.
Well, my
Like,
mom
I don't
is
know that I
still
can live
very
with
much
like that.
struggles because of abuse, physical abuse, repetitive physical abuse. Like she just cannot, she does not want to have a conversation, and that is like, it's her
learning to stay
yeah,
quiet.
she doesn't, she thinks of that as being safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's still ingrained to her after all these years. Like, how many? 30 years? That's a long time.
Yeah.
Like, she's had 30 years after that, which this was a blip in her, life. But that's like to her core now,
I mean, and rightfully so, right? Think about like our marriages and like, I know I've said it, but I'll say it again. It's like in my head, I would just be like, okay, well, if you can just be a good little girl and, stay quiet and not bring up an issue and live like a roommate, then everything's fine.
Then y'all had like, it was almost like you had a friendship.
Yeah. You just live like roommates.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm so past that. I just don't ever want to do that. And so I just think for women or men that if you're living in a marriage for your kids or you're living in a marriage where I can firmly say, like, I did not have the best communication because I literally would be, spiraling so bad that I just couldn't get it right. Like my timing was always off. He was always defensive. Anytime I brought something up and it could be something like crazy bad that he had done, but he was always going to point back at me and start telling me what I had done wrong in the marriage instead of just owning what he had done. And I don't have a problem saying sorry. You know what I mean? So if you're in like a relationship with somebody and they can't say they're sorry and they have no empathy and they're constantly just going to point the finger back at you, like it's not a good spot to be in. So I get why people dust things under the rug.
And I value like my present relationship so much right now because we can just sit down and have a conversation about anything. And I don't feel like anxiety about it. I don't feel uncomfortable about it. I don't feel like anything about it. Now, I also think you should choose right times for conversations. You know what I mean? I'm not going to I don't know. Like we were talking about earlier, like I know like no kids around, like it's just us, like it's private, we can have these great conversations, and I don't have to feel like what's going to happen. Is he going to like not speak to me for weeks? Is he going to like, what's going to happen?
Yeah, because you feel safe. I mean, you feel safe now. You know what I mean? And a lot of that comes with safety. Like, even in dating, like, I've had tough conversations with guys, and not had the reaction that I had in the past. Now, I've had some of the same reactions, and that became
your big red flag.
Yeah, huge red flag.
Like, oh, no, I know I don't want that.
And that becomes like, and then they really
baseline.
They don't want to hear you say it, but I'm like, I've seen this before. I know what this looks like. I know where this goes.
Yeah.
I'm not living this life. And then, of course, it's turned around. Well, you just keep bringing your ex up. You're
comparing me.
You're comparing me. No, because that's who you are.
But that's what you have to compare that to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And also, I think it's really important to be able to acknowledge when you do something wrong and say you're sorry. Like you were saying before, like Gabe can say something to me like, hey, I'm just double checking. Was everything okay? And like, I can quickly be like, hey, I'm really sorry that you felt that way. Like, this is not, what I was thinking about this or and vice versa. Like I can say something to him and be like, first thing, by the way, first of all, I'm really sorry that you felt that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just acknowledge it first.
Right.
And I feel like you have to do that with the people that you love. Like, hey, you don't have to get so defensive. Like, you don't have to be like, so, live like that. So
I live my life now too. And I think both of us have gotten really good, which I'm so proud of you for this because you're not as outspoken as I am. But
you?
Yeah. Who would have guessed? But in my relationships, I tend to be not as outspoken, crazy as that sounds. Like I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm more
you're
like
not.
I kind of step back. I will, but I'm not as much. And so unless you push me too far, go figure. But, so I think that for sure, like in any kind of relationship where you're trying to like conflict resolved, like you just need to be like in a good headspace. And like, I think both of us have gotten really good at what I was going back to. Like what we've gotten really good at is being able to say like, hey, that's not about you. Like what I'm having or this is about me. This has nothing to do with you. This is my trauma. This is, like why I'm spiraling right now or why I'm saying the things I am.
Yeah.
Maybe it has nothing to do with you and it has everything to do with me. And to be able to realize that and to resonate with that and sit in it and be okay with it, we've come so far. Oh my gosh, we've come so far.
Yeah, that is. Another big one that you always have to think about that I've learned is not to be like, you.
Yeah, you need to.
It needs to be
that
like.
Used to be my favorite line.
You need to.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to say you need to because it does flare up that defensiveness. You need to be like, I feel this way when you did that, I feel this. It's more statements. Has to be. One time my counselor said, you ready? To picture a hula hoop, like a small hula hoop around me, and I'm the only one I can talk about. Like I can't talk about them. It has to be more like a me statement.
Yeah.
And I would have to like run it through that filter all the time. And I'm like, dang, that's kind of hard.
It's
but
super hard when you're in the moment.
It does get better with practice. I feel like, that's why on movies you see people go, well, they're like have to slowly say it because it's like so hard at first, because you want to be like,
I can one up you.
This.
My counselor said that when you're having conflict, just lay on the ground and pretend like you're dead. And then, just lay there.
I remember this,
lay there and pretend like you're dead. Just so that, like, if it just keeps going back and forth and you're done and you don't want it to keep spiraling, just lay and pretend like you're dead and then see if it can, like, break the ice.
Did you ever do that?
No, but I probably should have.
Is like she's told you, go lay down on the ground. What would he have done if you would have done that?
I don't know.
Would he have been like,
probably stepped on my throat?
She is crazy. But no, my counselor said to do this. My counselor said to do this.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like I have the mental picture of you like getting on the ground and like playing like you're dead. Like I would be like, wait, what is happening? That is awesome.
I know. What a mess.
That is great advice. That is weird advice. They do give the weirdest advice.
I know.
Like, I wonder what the conversation was to get her to tell you to do that. Like,
one time we went to a counselor. This was early on, the marriage counselor, and they made us sit in these chairs and face each other and say all these weird statements. And I was like, and I finally just spoke up. I was like, this isn't real life. Like, I'm not going to be at home saying stuff like that. This is asinine is what this is, like.
Do you remember any of the statements?
Oh my God. It just was the way that you worded it. And it was like similar to an I statement, but it was like almost in third party and like, I wish that I don't know. It just did not.
You're like, this is not going to be.
Take this vision and pretend like you're like doing the play of Macbeth and try to bring that marriage counseling. And that's about like, and I was like, this is the Twilight Zone.
You've had some bad counselors. I've had some bad. One time, I only had this guy one time. I just don't like guys very much. I have found, I'm just not a men lover. Yeah. I'm not at all. Like, I love my sons and Gabriel, and my dad's.
Yeah.
But I do not like any other guy. Like, I am like a man hater sometimes to my core. Like, and this counselor came on and it's a dude. And I'm like, already like the way that he's talking. So my ex had an affair and his advice was, well, he should not work.
Oh God, I remember this.
And I'm like, what? He should not work. He shouldn't leave. Like, he should just stay home and like, where it's safe. I'm like, what kind of advice is that? So you're telling him not to be a provider, not to be a leader, like basically like not live real life because you can't control yourself?
Yeah.
That's the worst advice I've ever heard in my whole life.
When you called me and told me,
I was
like,
upset. I called you.
I was like, what a mess. I'm like, well, that's terrible advice. I don't think you should go back. Ask for a refund. Get your money back. Like, are you kidding me right
this
now?
was from the church.
Oh,
this
my
was through
Lord,
the
have
church.
mercy.
I think. I
Oh,
believe it
my
was like through the church.
God.
And I never went back to church. I went to another church, but I never went back to that church. I was so
Girl.
appalled.
Yeah. I would be too.
It's like, you're going to tell somebody that now they're off the hook from having to work.
Oh, no.
Just go have an affair and then you don't have to
Oh,
do
my
anything
Lord.
anymore.
Yeah, I can't. Nah.
Yeah, I've had some bad ones. Yeah, but I grew up in that way. I really did. And it was just such an uncomfortable environment. I've also experienced it, you know, with my siblings, parents, siblings, and
Friends.
it creates such resentment, enabling, crutches, bad habits, people getting away with everything.
Murder.
Yes. And no accountability.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's always like, you know, everybody has that one person in their family that like everybody tiptoes around and doesn't say anything about, you know? I was having a conversation with my client the other day and it's like, we all have that one person that everybody's just, and it's like, why do you not make them take accountability? Why do you not, because everybody just doesn't want to deal with it. Like they don't want the backlash, the chaos, the craziness that comes with it. You know what I mean? So a lot of times that's the case too, is it's like people don't want to rock the boat.
Girl, why did Darian have a cousin? And when we would go to Tulsa, and she was just like so
a hot mess.
Yeah, certifiably crazy, but just not diagnosed. Probably needed to be on some meds. I wish she would have took. I was like, "Do you want some of my meds?" Like,
can I help you out?
Why would we all tiptoe around her? So whenever
that's what I'm saying. There's always a family member that we all like, and I'm like, why didn't you just say this person isn't allowed, or hey, this is what we expect, or you can't come? Like, why is that a hard conversation that's swept under the rug that everybody deals with year after year after year?
Oh, girl, and when we separated. And his family started acting cray. She was the first one I blocked.
You did?
Yeah, girl. My block.
You already
knew. Yeah, no.
You're like, I'm going to block before. Blocked before anything.
Oh, she sent me a message still. I didn't have her blocked on everything. Then she got blocked on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I think it's just people not wanting to deal with it, not wanting to do that, you know, not wanting to even, but it just piles up. I have had some rage moments from sweeping stuff under the rug too long. And I will say some stuff that I would never say. You know what I mean?
You hold it in so too long.
Or I realize I'm not allowed to drink whiskey. Because I would hold things in for so long. If I drink whiskey, they tend to fly out. You know?
My gosh.
It will happen. And I'll just say, everything that I had never not said will come out of my mouth in a not nice way. And the next morning I would be like, that doesn't even sound like anything I would say. Like I'm never allowed to drink whiskey ever again. I love whiskey, by the way. I love
Bora
it.
Whiskey.
No, I'm not allowed. Well, I am actually around fun people, but don't let me be around anybody. Like, well, it's just going to be me and you. So I can drink whiskey. But like if I was around anybody that I ever didn't speak my mind, would just come out. It would come out in the ugliest way that it could possibly come out. So have the conversation.
Right.
Make sure it's a good environment. Make sure it's private. You know, I don't know. Just have the conversation. You feel so much better.
Yeah. Don't get defensive.
Keep it with how it makes you feel.
Listen as much as you talk. That's a good one.
Listen just as much as you talk.
Listen, Linda.
Yeah, that's hard.
Sure. It is, especially when you're amped up. I mean, people are human.
You want to get your point across, and especially not let them talk.
That was a big thing. It's a big thing too. Like when you don't feel heard. You know what I mean? Well, I don't feel heard. Like I'm talking to you, but you don't hear me. Like you're not Like,
It's not
you're
sinking in.
Yeah, you're not reading the words that are coming out of my mouth. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
So it's like you almost feel like you're talking to a brick wall. So
And then sometimes you've had so many conversations that you
you're beating a dead horse.
you don't care
I
to
got
have
all the
it
sayings today.
anymore.
Yeah.
Jerry's just coming out.
Come on, Jerry,
in all your
come with it.
sayings today. Beating a dead horse.
Mm-hmm.
Megan,
I know.
you don't have a problem with this.
I don't have a problem. Well, I do have a problem holding it in, but I think in my marriage, over time, it just got longer and longer and longer.
And got worse.
Yeah,
Don't you
worse.
think?
But
The longer you didn't
Yeah, because it was
it?
a cycle of abuse. So the cycle of abuse would cause that because you become conditioned.
Mhm.
You become conditioned to not say anything
Oh, I
because
hate that word.
Yeah, but it's the truth.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, you become conditioned to not say anything because you're going to have hell to pay. There's another saying for you. If you do, and it's not going to go good, and then it's going to be a blow up, and then you're going to say pack your shit, and then you're just, it's all the things. So I do have a problem. I don't have a problem speaking up, especially like sometimes in the moment, but I do act differently in a relationship than I do
in real life and not real life, but in business or friendships or family or anything like that. I wonder why.
Because
you want to be loved.
Yeah, and in my business, I'm not being abused. So, of course, it's easy to speak up for yourself. It's easy to, stand firm. It's easy to hold your ground. It's easy to do the things that you can when you're surrounded by people that are good and kind and that support you and you're a leader. That's why I'm so much better. Like, I've asked myself that a million times. Why am I so good at business and terrible in relationships? I'm not terrible in relationships. I'm terrible in relationships with not good people. And so that is what I had to realize. Like, it's not, the trauma, like the unwinding that we're doing over time. It's like all of the basically brainwashing. Like, I have to tell myself all the things that I thought I was really terrible at. No, I'm not terrible at those things. I just had somebody telling me and gaslighting me, telling me I was terrible at those things.
So
when
you
really
were believing
I wasn't.
them.
Yeah, because I date now and I'll be like, well, that's me I'll be like, that's me spiraling. And they'll be like, Megan, that's nothing. And I'm like, it's not? And they're like, no, it's not. So like, it's like it's like unlearning all the bad things that were fed into me for so long. And so that's going to take some time.
It's so true. Like, we believe those things,
You do.
It's crazy what our mind, like, we can tell ourselves and then we believe it, you know? And it's like the negative things. You can't people tell you the good things and they don't hit as hard. You hear one bad thing and you remember it like 20 years later, you know?
For sure.
And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why do we do that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? Before we close this up, dusting on the rug. Do you know you would be proud of me? Because my 30-year class reunion is coming up. I haven't told you this. It's coming up the end of September. And
where? In Oklahoma?
2 girls that I had issues with from when we were young. One that bullied me from like in middle school all the way through high school, like halfway through high school. It just was not nice. And I had held a grudge all these years. And another one that they were good friends. And so she'd jump on the bandwagon as we were adults, like on Facebook and stuff. And I had blocked them and, went to my 10-year, didn't speak to them. Went to my 20-year, it was super awkward. I went to both of them and sent them an inbox and said, hey, I am at a different spot in my life. I want to be able to go to my 30-year class reunion and I want everything to be fine. Can we make amends? And I'm sorry if I've done anything that's offended you. And you know what? They both unblocked me. They both, I had them blocked. They had me, and both of them were kind and nice and said everything's all good. And it was a breath of fresh air.
Isn't that awesome? Because you had a conversation, not even a real, not a full blunt, but you had, sometimes it just takes the accountability able to just be like, and hey. Just be like, hey, let's just, I'm sorry for, anything. And I want to move forward. And it's funny because even as adults, we still feel like those kids. Like when you go back,
like I just want to mend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
you're like, I don't want to feel that way anymore. I don't have time for that anymore. I don't want to feel like that towards anybody. Yeah. I really don't want to feel like that towards anybody, you know? And I have people like that too, that And yeah, you're like, this is taking way too much of my energy, and
Yeah.
your energy is so valuable. It's like the way that the things that you focus on that day, it's like, it's so expensive,
Yeah.
because that's your day.
Yeah. And you
It can
have
ruin your whole
such
day.
limited time on this
Yeah.
earth.
And it's like,
For
I
sure.
just spent my whole day thinking about that
Craziness.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
What did I miss with my kids? What did I miss? Because I was focused on this one stupid thing,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no more of that.
No more, sister.
No more of that.
No more dusting it under the rug.
No, it's so bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you guys for sitting here listening to us again today about dusting it under the rug. We would love if you guys follow us on all our socials at Got Her Back Podcast. I'm Megs Unfiltered.
I'm inspired by Carrie. And have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.